Good evening, everybody. If I were to ask you, if I were to tell you that I would grant you a wish, what would that be? Anybody? Mohil, Neha, Grace, anybody? Eric, even you can answer. Well, I promise you I'll tell you what I am wishing for, but be careful what you wish for. Anybody? Grace, you have something. Yes.
Magic wand.
Okay, with that you get everything. Well, that's very smart. If you ask me, what would I wish for? Let me think. Well, I would wish for no. I want something else. If I take that, no, I have something else that I want. Well, this confusion brings to mind somebody who lived long ago, a very long time ago, and his name was Midas. He was King Midas. Any guesses where he lived? Anybody? Well, Midas lived in our own Despina's land, Greece. What was so special about Midas? Of course, he was king, but the unique character that comes to my mind or to anybody's mind who hears of Midas, and what would come to your mind as you hear my story, is that he was a very greedy man. He was a king, yes, but very greedy one. Day and night, he thought only of increasing his wealth, his riches. He never had a peaceful moment in life. He lived in a huge palace with his sweet little daughter, but he had no time for her because he was busy counting riches and at night dreaming about it. Well, one day, as he was strolling around in his beautiful rose garden, Midas comes across a satyr. Satyr is a, a half human, half goat kind of creature, and he seemed lost. Midas, seeing him, took pity on him, well, and told him, "You can stay in my palace, have food, and maybe I'll guide you out." The satyr stayed there. He was happy by the hospitality. And as he was just leaving, and just at the rose garden again, he told King Midas, "King Midas, oh great one, thank you for your hospitality. I am going to grant you one wish. Make a wish." The king thought for a moment, one wish? Isn't granting 3 wishes the usual standard? If at all wishes were granted? Why am I being cheated here? He was very skeptical. I did I never expected anything, but still, granting me one wish is like making fun of me. He was about to voice his concern when suddenly he said, "Well, it's gold. Gold. That's what I want. I want gold. Whatever I touch has to turn to gold." The satyr looked at him and said, "Why don't you think again? I don't think this is a very wise decision." "No, satyr, I want whatever I touch to turn to gold." Well, his wish was granted and the satyr disappeared. Well, that was a wonderful thing to wish for, but now the king, Midas, the king has to check and test whether his wish has been granted. So what does he do? He walks on in the garden and he just slowly touches the roses in the garden. As he touches the roses, one by one, the red, beautiful roses turn golden. "Oh, wow! My wish has actually been granted. Great, roses have turned golden. Let me just touch the grass and see." He touched the grass. Again, one by one, as he touched them slowly, the blades started turning gold. Wonderful. This is something that I need to celebrate. As he was just going, he touched the walls of the palace. Again, wherever he touched, it became smooth and golden. This calls for celebration. He shouted, called his servants, and said, "Hey, I want to celebrate. This is indeed a very happy moment for me. Bring in the choicest of food, meat, cheese, wine, whatever. I don't have to worry about money again. I can just revel and enjoy my life. Well, the food was being prepared and he's just walking around. And as he just walks and gets into the dining hall, what happens is he just touches his chair and it turns golden. Great. Well fitting for me, golden chair. Then as he's just sitting down, he touches the table. Slowly, wherever he touches, the table also turns golden. No problem. Golden table, golden chair, well fitting for me, the great King Midas. Then as the food is being brought in, he gets a smell. Oh, wow, I can just enjoy. I'm so hungry. I forgot how hungry I was. He's just about to take a sip of the wine. Slowly, he touches the wine glass and it turns golden. He took a sip of the wine and suddenly a piece of marble-like thing fell from his mouth. The wine, on touching his tongue, has turned into a piece of marble, golden piece. It fell off his mouth. Then he thought, okay, fine, leave it. Let me have something now. He was very hungry. He took a piece of meat and took a bite. A piece of gold fell from his mouth. What is happening? I can't even have food. I will starve to death. He started crying out. What is happening now? How will I have food? When he started making big hue and cry, his daughter, who was just playing nearby, comes into the room and says, Daddy, what is happening? Why are you crying? And she comes and hugs him. Lo and behold, the daughter turns into gold. Oh my, this is something that I never wanted. What have I done? What have I done? Such a foolish man I've been. I've turned my daughter into gold. Oh, please, I don't want this. I don't want this. Please, please help me, somebody. Please. I just want everything to be back to normal. Well, Midas was crying. He fell on his knees and he was actually crying. And slowly, as the tears touched his cheeks, again turned gold. That was indeed a pathetic moment. He was wailing and shouting and crying. He went out to the garden and started screaming. He was holding his daughter's golden image, the golden statue. And he fell to the ground. He started crying again. Oh God, please help me, somebody. Well, the gods in Greece were actually kind-hearted. They thought, okay, let's take pity on him. We'll just, I think he's learned his lessons. They were talking to each other. The god, one of them, appeared in front of Midas and said, well, Midas, now that you've realized that being wealthy and touching everything and making it golden is not the end of your life, so why don't you just go to the river, Pactolus, and take a dip and then come out. The king ran to the river and he immersed himself and took bath completely, and he could see the flakes of gold going away from his body. And as he climbed out, he realized that his power had gone. He was back to being normal, and he saw his daughter being back and alive. He was so happy. But the gods wanted to teach him a lesson for his foolishness and stupidity so that he doesn't become greedy again. So what happens is, legend has it that he grew 2 long donkey years so that he always remembers his foolishness forever. Thank you.